Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? According to this late night, Saturday night, originally it was supposed to be John and I review the movie Crawl, about Crawl, not the 1980s sci-fi fantasy movies about Krull, which I've seen many times. Um, and, Dan's still in town. I think he goes back to South Dakota Sunday. I should be going to bed, but I want to at least do this video and upload it. Um, so what happened? Well, he wanted to go to the brewery. Six. I think we ended up going to 7. It was really crowded. I didn't know it was next to Todd's place. I thought we were just going to pick up Todd. I didn't know it was real close. I mean, it was at this place called Riverside Hotel that burned down a long time ago. And then they built up and they had it's a brewery now, and it's beautiful. John actually shot some footage. Cause I didn't have my camera with me because I didn't know it would be right there. We weren't there. I wasn't there that long. It was really crowded. I had a German beer that I have a review of that, and then we went back to Todd's and just we all just talked around the fire for till about midnight. So like that. I barely had any beer. I had a German beer there, and I had a beer at Todd's, and that was it. And we got back. We were too tired to. I got. John wasn't in the mood to do a review, and. So I mean, I went to sleep for a little bit. I got up because I wanted to do this and put this up for at least 1 o'clock today. So we went to see the movie Crawl. That went to 3 o'clock showing, and the one thing is, I said on a live stream when I went to see, we talked about Ernest, the Christmas movie, and then I think one of them brought up Ernest Saves Christmas. And then I talked about my history with Ernest movies, going to see him at the theater. And I went to see the Halloween one that he did in '91 at Fort Detrick. When I was stationed at Fort Detrick, Maryland, one of the neighborhood theaters. Ernest Scared Stupid on opening day. I was the only one in the theater. Well, anyways, jump ahead. We went to see Crawl today. I mean, and it was a movie that had very little fanfare to it. I mean, I saw like 2 commercials. They mentioned Sam Raimi and stuff like that at one screen before critics and stuff like that. Sometimes that's a bad sign for critics to say, well, it's not screened for critics, the movie isn't any good. And, but I mean, it had somewhat of a amount of success, even though I think whoever then tried the promotion should have really got behind this movie. It would have done better. Well, anyways, I went to the theater. There was only 2 people there. I mean, no. When I went to the theater, John and I were the only 2 people there. So I was like, oh man, first time I went to a movie and there were only 2 people there. And then when the trailers came out, there was 2 more people. So this was the only movie that there was only 4 people at. So, I mean, I'm getting off topic, but I thought I'd address this first. So, I'll tell you the ones where most of the time I go to the theater, it's usually packed, or maybe at least 20 to 30 people, or it's packed, up to being packed. So, I mean, I have a list of movies that I remember going to that were like the least amount of people ever. Well, of course, number 1 was Ernest Scared Stupid. I was the only one in the theater. Then, it was a movie Pure Luck in Fort Detrick, Maryland, which I absolutely hated, with Martin Short and Danny Glover. It was 3 people, me and 2 other people, in the theater on. It wasn't on premiere night though. It played for a while, and I shouldn't have. I was on the fence about seeing it. It was awful though. Then after that, Crawl, now with 4 people. I never seen a movie with just me and another person, 2 people, in the theater. Crawl with 4 people. Then there was the Hulk Hogan movie Suburban Commando on premiere day, and there was like 5 people in the theater. And that movie's funny. I love Suburban Commando, by the way. And then there's a tie. Well, a tie for 5th being both the movie the Edge, whenever before the Village Cinema closed down, it was a theater in Edinburgh. It became a dollar theater for like, you go see a movie and it would be $1.50. And it was a tie for fifth with the movie The Edge. That was like a thriller with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins, and that was made popular because it had that animal actor Bart the Bear. They mentioned he had like a big billing in that movie. Very impressive. I mean, he was scary looking in that movie. That movie of the tie, that movie, and also the Disney, also at the Village Cinema on a Sunday afternoon, the Disney comedy Rocket Man with Harlan Williams, and those were both. When I went to theater then, it was either like, for both The Edge and Rocket Man, either 6 or 7 people, including myself and my dad. So let's get on to the movie review. I'm tired, so forgive me. I wanted to do this now before going back to bed. Well, anyways, Krull is a wonderful piece of escapist entertainment, horror entertainment. It revolves around this daughter who's a swim star, right? And then she finds out there's supposed to be a hurricane. And then she said, they were at some swim meet, and she said her sister talked to her after, they had swim meet after the beginning credits, and she said, and the sister was like, I thought the hurricane was supposed to miss us. And they said, no, it's getting close. It's coming to our path. Then you hear the warning and stuff like that, and, it was like mild warning and stuff like that, so she decided to get out of Dodge. And she was going there, well, no. She wanted to check on her dad. She said her dad said, don't go there, it's real dangerous. I got to check on Dad. So she was driving towards the storm. And then the guy said, man, it's really dangerous. This car flipped over. We cannot allow any people in here. So she drove away and she said, oh, heck with it. And she drove by and she went right into the heart of the hurricane. And then she went to see her dad at the house. And she went under the crawl space. And he was in there trapped. And then they found there's gators in there. And then the hurricane gets worse and the water keeps coming in there. And basically it's a game of survival between them and the gators and the hurricane too. So not only is it a great horror film, it's a great disaster film too. It's a disaster horror film. And it's a great creature feature. I think horror fans have been wanting another creature feature like animals again. Aside from sharks. I love the shark movies, but it's kind of been done to death. But like another gator movie. And this is wonderful. I think my dad would have really enjoyed this, but I don't know if he would like the claustrophobic feel of the crawl space, Because there was a movie that I remember renting with Klaus Kinski called Crawl Space. And my dad didn't want to see it just based on the title, and that movie's awesome. If you get a chance to see that from Epic Pictures in the 80s. This is a great, solid piece of entertainment. I loved it. And you really, sometimes, it's basically in a small location, and a limited amount of actors. All the acting was great. You really cared for the characters. That's why a lot of times in these movies like this, a good script and also character development really helps. If you really care about the characters, you really care about the situation they're in. And this is a wonderful movie. It's really good. It has some scares in it, and it's very entertaining. And there was a scene like, amidst all the chaos, they actually fleshed out the characters a little bit more, which actually gave a little more depth, a little more heart. You wanted to see these guys, do well. And it's from the director Alexander Aja. I don't know if that's how I pronounce him. Sam Raimi was behind it too. And he did Hills Have Eyes, the remake of Hills Have Eyes, which actually was a good remake. It's kind of like, for the most part, it was kind of like the same story, except it was a lot meaner. It's really mean. The weird thing about that is, I remember seeing it at the Dollar Theater, and there was this little boy that was there just sitting by himself, and then I guess the parents went there and took him to see Hills Have Eyes, and that's not for little kids at all. Yeah, I remember there's some scenes that were real nasty. People walked out of the theater and said, this movie's absolute garbage. Like the part where they shot the pregnant woman, and then the parts where the guys were stuck in a meat locker with the body part. People were leaving the theater. It's a pretty intense and mean movie. But this one, is a tight. I don't think this is a. This one's not as mean spirited as that. This one is really good, solid entertainment. It's really good. You really get in the story, and I absolutely loved it. John loved it too. I mean, it's just got to the point, you know. We went to see this. We went to go eat. I get edit that together. I don't know when I'm gonna put that video up. Special place. I took the food home, and then brother came over for a second, and went to pick up Dan. And we went to Harold's, and then to Todd's, and then I didn't know that that place was real close by, or else I would have brought my camera in there. And John shot footage, and John has a 4K camera, so I might do that in parts. Have a couple 4K videos in there. Hopefully he'll upload. That'll be cool. But I give the movie full on 10 out of 10. Crawl is a great movie. I mean, it's one of those ones, because I know John was mentioning the unfortunate passing of Rutger Hauer. So, rest in peace, Rutger. I was surprised I didn't do a video about it, but there's so much stuff. I can't do a video about everything, you know, with work and stuff like that, or else I would have. A lot of times there are people have been passing away, and I haven't been able to do a video about. Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer. And he was mentioning about the final cut of Blade Runner. If you want to see that one, he said if you want to go to Tinseltown or something like that, that, you know, there's something. So I went and I looked, because I didn't know. I mean, Crow's been out for maybe 3-4 weeks, maybe. And I didn't know if it'd still be showing as a, you know, the whole day long. You know what I mean? It might be like one showing it late at night or something like that, or early in the morning. No, it was still showing in one theater. And if you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. It's wonderful. It's really good. I think you'll enjoy it. So full on 10 out of 10 for Crawl. For me and my buddy John, I assume John loved it too. I don't know. He seemed like he liked it. I had a good time. And I think you will too. I mean, you really care about these characters. And also, I was surprised. I mean, it was only 88 minutes long. I was surprised how short the ending credits were. Because they had some, in my opinion, impressive effects. And the ending credits were super short. Just like they were in Unsane. And Unsane was pretty much, you know, didn't really have any. It shot on iPhone. Unsane might have been a little bit shorter at 99 seconds. The credits in this one might have been like, 4 or 5 minutes maybe. Where that one was like 99 seconds for the ending credits on that one. But I loved Crawl. And my friend Tony Talant made a really cool thumbnail for that, so I want to thank him too. I hope you liked this video, everybody. Definitely, I mean, if you like monster movies and creature features, this is a really good one to see. Oh, and I think my dad would have liked it because my dad liked alligator movies. One of our favorite movies we had history with was Louis Teague movie Alligator. And I remember I first heard about it, of course, Cisco and Ebert sneak preview they had on Dogs of the Week. They hated it. It's an alligator movie from Louis Teague that had Robert Forster and Dean Jagger in it. And that ended up being on CBS, premiere on CBS. And then when they show it every so often on the CBS Late Night Movie, and Dad and I usually would always watch it. And I finally saw it uncut on YouTube, and it was wonderful. A 10 out of 10 for that one. And then they had they did sequel to Alligator 2: The Mutation, which absolutely sucks. That's a terrible movie. And then alligator movie we went to see in the theater was Lake Placid, which I loved. I was a big fan of that movie. Dad liked it too. I mean, critics were harsh on that movie. I loved it. And like, my stomach's bugging me. Betty White was in. Betty White was really, really funny in that. I know she's the animal. PETA gave her a tough time because of the scene where she feeds a cow to that gator, but that was all fake. That's all CGI. They should know better than that. But like I said, I'm going on a tangent. I mean, you know, anyone who watched this movie, you got a little bit extra talking and stuff. I loved Crawl. I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful film. A full on 10 out of 10. If you like it, good. I mean, it's, well, maybe a more, I mean, it's a, they'll say horror movie, but it's like a horror disaster movie, or just if you just want to see a disaster movie with some scary elements with the credit, yeah, definitely see it. It's wonderful. I think it's great as a horror movie and as a disaster film. So until next time, bye, please. Take care, my Legion. Full on 10 out of 10 for Crawl. Definitely see it. It's wonderful. if it's still in your theater.